I hope you're hearing me.
Yes, somehow there's some breaking in the network, but we can hear you still.
When I think if it continues, then I'll have to remove the video. But I want to take this opportunity to appreciate you and the leadership of the Youth Fellowship. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come here and just share a few of my personal experiences.
The network,
My name is Emmanuel.
the sound, the volume is going a bit low. Maybe you can increase on the volume.
I increase on the volume.
Your sound a bit low than when you started.
Okay, are you now getting me?
Yeah, now you're better.
Let me move this. Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah, a bit better.
Good. I'm in Adjumani, so I am praying hard that the network is good enough. I want to appreciate you so much for giving me the opportunity to share. Of course, when I was called and I was asked to share about this topic, in my heart, I was like, I wish you had called me first and then you called my wife later, because for her, she knows how to break it down so well. But I'm so blessed to be here. I know that this is a very interesting topic. There is no man who is married who doesn't have these issues concerning emotions, and these are natural things, and we experience them in different ways. And of course, I've been thinking through what to share about it. And there are so many thoughts that have kept coming to my attention, and very interesting experiences. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to share those specific experiences, but I just want to share my personal story and then a few highlights. And I noticed that as long as you are truly born again, and you have a relationship with Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, and then you are convinced beyond any shadow of doubt that the wife that God has given you is a gift from God, then there are things that you're not going to struggle with. There are things that are going to come out naturally. I know that, yes, I've listened to many speakers, I've read books, I have we shared experiences in the marriage fellowship, but each individual has their own experience. And your experiences are natural, your experiences are, some of them are original. Maybe you are the first person, you have experienced them as an individual as original experiences, not because you learned them from anywhere. And so when you get married and you start a journey of marriage, you meet so many things. And you learn along the way. You make mistakes. And so as an individual, I felt like the best way to begin this sharing is to talk about my personal principles. Number one, I am so convinced beyond any shadow of doubt that the wife that God gave me, the wife that I have is a gift from God. And so I have a responsibility to walk the journey with her all the days of my life. And I know that I one day will give an accountability before God. I will present her to God and say, God, you gave a wife and she was this, and I was able to, to grow her in her spiritual life, in her physical life, in her emotional life. I made her happy and she lived a good life when she was my wife. And definitely it will be a wonderful thing if I present her when both of us are making it in heaven, because that's the end of the journey. So one very critical, my things are not nothing, just okay, good. For a Christian man, all his dreams and fantasies about a woman, they find their true fulfillment and foundation in his wife. I know as a young man, I grew up, with this deep desire to you see so many beautiful women that, at school, on the street, everywhere. And you know that of over 2 billion women or 3-4 billion women that exist in the world, you'll only get one. You'll only get one. And you know that we have so many fantasies about the opposite sex. But I came to conclude that all those fantasies, everything I love and like and enjoy about a woman, as a Christian, that can only be fulfilled in my wife. And so the need for me to know her emotions, to know what makes her happy, know what makes her fulfilled, all that is in her, not any other woman. And so if you're going to find excitement, if you're going to find joy, if you're going to have emotional fulfillment for another woman, you are off, you are in dark, you have no blessing from God. And so it is important for you to know that that is a wife that God has given you. You don't have plan B. You don't have an alternative. She is the one in sickness and in health. She is the one. That's number one principle. Number two, no matter the reason behind your wife's unhappiness, what truly matters is your awareness of her feelings and your commitment to take thoughtful action to support and uplift her. This is my principle. It doesn't matter what may make my wife unhappy. As long as I discover that she's not happy, that's a fact. Whether she's justified or not justified, I need to just be concerned. And so many, because of that principle, I have been able to resolve so many issues. You go and she's giving you accountability, and you notice that maybe the money that, she spent is beyond what you thought that she would spend. Then you come back to your senses and discover that, yes, okay, she spent it. She's not a drunkard. She has, she is reasonable. She was not coerced. She felt that this was the best way to do it. As much as you don't feel good about it, but the fact is that, yes, she spent it and it made her happy. If it was the right decision to her side, then it's important that to accept it and maybe discuss it and move forward. But the most important thing is for you to know that her feelings about issues, your awareness of her situation or her emotional status is very important. And you should not ignore it, and you should not rationalize it, and you should not seek to even get facts out of it. As long as it makes her happy, it makes her happy. As long as it doesn't make her happy, it doesn't make her happy. You can work it out and see how you resolve it. But if she's not happy, she's not happy. And that's a fact, and you should accept it, other than just trying to justify why she should not be happy. Always remember that as long as your wife remains truly faithful and committed to your marriage vows, you are the only man she will have for the rest of her life until death, takes her, until death separates you. So it is also very important for you to know that as long as you're married to this woman, she has feelings, she has desires, she has passions, she has things that she wants to fulfill in life. And all those things can only be fulfilled with you, your support, the husband. So if you are not there to help her meet her emotional needs, there is no plan B. The only thing you're going to cause is pain, it is torture, it is then that regret, that vacuum, that feeling of, oh God, this is what I'm in. So you must be deliberate to create an environment that your wife will enjoy, that your wife will feel good, and you will be excited that you are the man of her life. Then the fourth principle, anything that does not bring you peace, joy, happiness, and fulfillment is not worth your time, your money, and your energy. It's not worth of your pursuit. Marriage is a divine assignment and one for which you will give an account before the Lord. And so if there's anything that you are pursuing and you have put aside your marriage, you have ignored the feelings of your wife, you have ignored the peace and the joy that is at your home, then it is not worth it. One time we were in a marriage fellowship, and a lady said that the money which my husband looks for after 5 We don't need it. It is not necessary. What he makes during the day is more fulfilling, and that's what we need. And it was a very clear demonstration of a woman who misses her husband. And so there are things that are not worth pursuing if they are being pursued against the peace and the joy and the happiness and the fulfillment that comes from the home and the family that God has given. So it is very important that you prioritize the peace, prioritize the joy and the happiness that comes from your marriage, because it is a divine assignment and you have to give an account before God. Lastly, in marriage, pride and ego are not signs of strength. I've seen men who do not want to hear, they don't want to pay attention, they don't even want to be bothered. They are full of themselves. Everything is about themselves. And at the end of the day, you discover that all those become barriers to your connection. When you ignore your wife's emotions or respond with arrogance, you are not protecting yourself. You are actually hurting yourself and your wife. It's like fighting against yourself. So real love listens, real love understands, real love chooses humility over dominance. And I've discovered in my own marriage that every time I have just humbled myself and mingled myself with my wife and made her happy, laugh, and just be me and be actually, it is even sweeter when you become like children and jump around and smile and be happy and like life is not very serious. I have found more fulfilling. You know, you go to work and you're looking forward to coming back in the evening because you know that you're going to catch up with your wife and you will connect, and it is a blessing. Some of us take it for granted, but the truth of the matter is having a wife is a blessing from God. And an environment at home where you are happy can be heaven. When your wife is emotionally happy and is able to connect with you so well, naturally, you enjoy. Actually, at the end of the day, you are the beneficiary. And so I know that those of you who were there on last time she shared about this topic, she talked about define what emotional needs are. But these are deep desires of love, respect, and security, and connection. It's not just about sex alone. I know that I'm sure that the majority of us, when we saw this topic, we thought that concentration was going to be on sex. But really, the emotional needs of a woman are not necessarily sex alone. Yes, they as much as they say that men are the ones who enjoy sex most and they want it most of the time. If your marriage is healthy, even your wife will also enjoy and will look forward to it. And so, but it is just deeper than just sex. It is the deep desire for love, for respect, for security. It's that emotional need, the emotional needs that are very fundamental. These are very fundamental feelings and experiences that people crave for. That is called emotional well-being. When your wife is if you're meeting the emotions of your wife, if you're able to identify them and customize them and identify them and then be able to respond to them, then you are able to create love, and love increases, even respect. The woman becomes very, very secure and safe because she knows that you are there for her. So feeling loved and appreciated is very important. Very, very important. They want to be loved. They want to be respected. They want to find security and safety. They want to be appreciated. And the way we can do it, we have so many ways we can do it. And God has given us so many gifts as men. We can speak, we can talk, but many of us, maybe because of the background or because of the culture, we find it very difficult to say it. But it's very important for us to say, I love you, to say, I appreciate you, to say just words of kindness. Just surprise her with nice things. And be proud of her. Be proud of her. Be very confident of the fact that she is your wife, and tell people about what you like about her. And they like to hear it. When you talk, tell people, hey, my wife is beautiful. My wife is he cooks very well. My wife takes good care of me. My wife is the best mother in the world. They feel good. It works on their dopamine, and they want to hear those words. So they want to feel heard and understood. They want to feel supported, both emotionally, when they are feeling well, even when they are not feeling well. They want to hear those words from you. It's very important for you to learn, and actually she talked seriously about it, learn how to read the air. Read the air. Understand when she's quiet, what does it mean? When she's talking too much, what does it mean? When she is, learn, just study the air and get to know that this is the situation that my wife is, and learn to find a solution, a customized solution on how do you respond when she is in that state. So I've already mentioned there are common emotional needs: feeling loved and appreciated, feeling heard and understood, feeling supported and valued, feeling secure and trusted. These emotions bring fulfillment. They bring fulfillment when she knows that you go out of their way. So why identify emotional needs? Why must we identify the emotional needs? I've already mentioned just a few: build trust and intimacy, prevent misunderstanding and conflicts, encourage open communication, help nurturing of a loving environment. It's very important. That environment in the kitchen, in the sitting room, in the bedroom, in the car, that environment is very critical. So how do we build trust? Trust grows when your wife feels you understand her at a deeper level. Not just her routine, but when you understand her heart. When you actively pay attention to her feelings, it sends a message that you matter to her and you are committed to her. This creates intimacy. So the emotional closeness that makes marriage feel warm and safe is when there is that intimacy. When there is no intimacy, then things become like there's no oil in the marriage. There is no oil in the relationship. So when she shares something personal and you respond with empathy and care rather than judgment, she will trust you more than her vulnerable feelings. When she's able to come and she knows so well that she will cry on your shoulder and you will genuinely offer it, and you feel her and you're concerned about her, you're not judging her, that builds trust, and she can be able to tell you many things. Yesterday, I know she was again making a presentation to the women, and she said that when you trust your husband, or when your husband trusts you, it is a powerful thing, and it takes time. It takes time to build the trust. But once the trust has been destroyed, it is very difficult to rebuild it. So I want to talk to the men who are here. if you know that your wife trusts you, never take it for granted. Do everything, make sure that she continues to trust you. Even when you are talking to the opposite sex, let her trust you. Even when you have traveled and you are away for 2 weeks and you are in a hotel and you are with colleagues who are female, let her know that she is safe. No one is going to mess you in the hotel or in that trip because she trusts you. Once that trust is destroyed, I am telling you, you may actually never bring it back to the place where it was original. Once it is destroyed, it can be, yes, you can do everything possible to rebuild it. It will take you time. It will take you a lot of energy. It will take you a lot of effort to rebuild it. But even with all your effort, even with 100% of repentance, it may never go back to its original place. So if you know that your wife still trusts you, make sure that you guard yourself against ever being not trusted. But the trust, just the trust alone, it builds their emotional energy. They feel good, they feel excited, they own you, and they don't bother, they don't apologize about it. But you can imagine, there's a friend of mine who went to she was talking to a receptionist, and the receptionist was asking the names, and then I think my friend said mentioned the name of her husband, and then the receptionist said, don't say my husband, you say our husband, because you don't know how many women is moving around with, and it was a very terrible, piercing statement. So it is terrible when your wife cannot comfortably say my husband. When he doubts and thinks that there are other people who can claim him, it's terrible. It's terrible. It kills intimacy. Prevent misunderstanding and conflicts. Many marital conflicts don't start because of big issues, but because of unmet emotional needs that go unnoticed. Let me repeat. Many marital conflicts don't start because of big issues, but because of unmet emotional needs that go unnoticed. So the wife is communicating to you every day, but you don't notice. And I think that's why the leaders suggested that we identify how to identify these emotional needs. It creates a safe space when both partners can talk honestly without fear of being dismissed. For example, if she knows you genuinely want to understand her perspective, she will be less likely to keep frustrations bottled up. She will most likely talk about it because she knows that you're going to take note, you're going to you're going to act, you're going to offer your shoulder. The other reason why we need to identify these emotional needs is because it encourages open communication. And those of, again, who attended yesterday's fellowship, it was well elaborated how communication is very critical. Talking about these things. If your wife doesn't have the confidence to bring it out like black and white, clear, like a Mchiga woman, and always is speaking in parables, then you need to deliberately learn how to interpret those parables. But if she is one who can communicate, or you can ask the questions. Like 2 weeks ago, I noticed that all of a sudden, my wife changed the mood. And I noticed we were happy, like the 2 weeks, happy. And then in the evening, I noticed that she's quiet. She moves to the kitchen, comes, serves the food, quiet. We go to the bedroom, quiet. And I noticed there was a difference, but there was something. I didn't know. I didn't know what it was, but I was not courageous enough to ask what's happening. And I was also aware that at that moment she would not tell me. So yesterday, when I was preparing this presentation, I asked her, by the way, last week, I saw you changing mood the other week. What happened? Then she told me that she had given me a lineup of things that she wanted me to do with her. But I upfronted only my program. I talked about how I'm traveling and what. And it appeared like all the things she had listed where she wanted me to be involved, I was not giving them priority at all. So I killed her mood. She was feeling terrible. What can I do? The way actually she had me making an appointment on a day when she expected me to be with her somewhere. And she didn't talk about it. I read the air. I didn't have an answer about it. I didn't have anything to do about it, but I knew that there was something. Because I know her, I know that maybe she wouldn't have been very open to tell me what it is. She would say, it's okay, it's okay. No, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. But yesterday, after 2 weeks, when I asked her, she told me, you see, I have been thinking about this, and I knew that the best way to do it was to do it to be with you. But I talked to you and you insisted on your program and you didn't give any priority to my whatever. So I said, I'm sorry, madam. Next time I'll have an understanding. And if it is possible to sacrifice some of the things, I will sacrifice them. It helps nurture a loving environment. Meeting emotional needs is like watering a plant. It keeps love alive and growing. A marriage where both partners' emotional needs are met becomes a place of joy, a place of peace, a place of mutual respect, a place of finding fulfillment. That's where you enjoy. You are a beneficiary when you make sure that the emotional needs of your wife are met. I know that time is not on my side. So there are common needs, acts of service. She talked a lot about it because she's among the 5 love languages. That is her number 1. The other day, I noticed that she was benefiting a lot from the acts of service. I participate in the washing of plates. I mop the house. I clean up. I make the bed and what. So the other day, I just told her, you know what, from today, I've also shifted. I'm also now my language is acts of service because the other one seems it is a very complicated language and you have failed to learn it. So acts of service, helping your wife is very critical, very critical. Affection and physical closeness, touching her, that she feels good when you hold her hands, you walk with her, you close, you don't keep yourself at a distance. And of course, making sure that every time she needs you, you are very present. Words of affirmation and appreciation, I've already talked about them. Quality time and unavoided attention. There's something we used to do when we were still young in our marriage. We used to walk, or sometimes we would just drive and park the car somewhere, and then we just sit there and talk. And it's something that is very, very important. You can have both formal and informal meetings, which are completely not. I'm always accused for not paying attention. And so I have given her permission that if she wants to talk to me and I'm on a laptop, she just comes and he closes the laptop. I'll never quarrel. If it is the phone which has issues, I've told her, if you notice that the phone is taking attention and you want to talk to me, please come and take it away. Just know that I've given you permission. Of course, she doesn't like it. Why? She doesn't like it because she says she's like driving me, or she's trying to force a conversation. I've told her, no. I love to listen to her. I love to meet her emotional needs. I love to do what she loves, what makes her happy. And so I've given her permission too. But she rarely does it. But I've told her, in case the laptop is becoming a second wife competition, please remove it, close it, and take it. I will not complain. Let me go quickly. So practical ways to meet emotional needs. Love, of course, love. Love is very critical. It's very important for us to love our wives and love genuinely. Love from the bottom of our hearts. Love like we are not coerced. Love. And I remember when we were quoting, I used to work in a place where there used to be no network. And the network I used to find network in the middle of a tree. And every evening I would climb that tree to get the network. That love should remain, that first love. Pursue her, look for her, love her regularly. Say, I love you. Compliment her. Spend spend quality time together without any distraction. And you can identify distractions. There are so many of them: newspapers, TV, news, news on radio, on TV, the phone, the computer, sometimes neighbors and friends, sometimes the developments. Like you find that the man is building a house and everything is about the house. So spend quality time without any distraction. Support her goals and dreams. And I was so happy when she went for master. We graduated on the same day. We were on the same ground on the first degree. But she's the one who went for the masters first. And I was proud and very excited about it. And I supported her. And when she graduated, I was so excited. So support her goals and dreams and keep telling her what her strengths, what her competencies. It makes her feel nice. Show empathy during her difficult times. Help with household chores and parenting responsibilities. Be consistent, be reliable, be faithful, be dependable. Faithfulness is critical. Your wife will never be emotionally stable if she knows that you're not stable, you're not faithful. That's very critical. 1 minute to go. Communication tips, I've already talked about it. Let me go to the conclusion. Here is overcoming challenges, recognizing when emotions are hidden or suppressed, deal with misunderstanding calmly, seek counseling if needed, if it is necessary. If you notice that situations are getting out of hand, get in the best man, get in the matron, get a counselor, get help. Commit to ongoing growth. I want to run to the conclusion because so important to always remember, emotional needs are the heart of a healthy marriage. Identifying needs requires attentive listening and observation. Meet needs strength, connection, and love. Communication and consistency are key. When you meet the emotional needs of your wife, yours are automatically met. Lastly, customize or reflect on your own marriage. There are many stories that you'll hear. Even here, I've shared so many things, but make sure that you understand your wife. What are the emotional needs? What emotional needs do you think your wife values most? You can list them down. How can you improve in identifying and meeting those needs? What have you tried to do and has not worked and has worked? Keep doing it. What have you tried to do and has not worked? Please drop it. Don't continue to do it. What haven't you tried before that you can start trying? Adventure. Do something new. Let your marriage be one of your priorities in life. And then I conclude with, this is the conclusion. I bought flowers for my wife for the first time when we were celebrating 20 years in marriage. Because I used to put facts around flowers. Facts. Number one, you buy them and then you wait a few days, they are dry and they throw them away. Number two, they are expensive, though the money is not a big problem. Number three, I didn't feel like my wife had never shown any need or interest in the flowers. So I never ever saw her giving out a gift to anyone or never talking about flowers. So it is my children who said, "But Daddy, you've never bought flowers for mommy. Now today, since it is you're celebrating 20 years in your marriage, you buy flowers and see how she'll feel." So I went after work and looked for these very expensive flowers. I spent the dollars and I brought them and hid them in the bedroom. And then, of course, the kids, they all knew that the flowers were there. So it was exciting. And she was so happy. You could see that she was melting, literally. She could not imagine that I went and bought flowers for her. So it was just adventure. So I want to challenge you. If you have never done something that can surprise, shock, emotionally positive, give positive energy to your wife, go and do it. Of course, because I had talked about those flowers drying up and all that, she put water and what, Eventually, they dried up and she could not touch them because she was like, hey, it is me who eventually went to throw them away. So that is the story of the flowers, but they brought emotional happiness. Thank you so much. God bless you. Okay, this is the last word. Always remember that your wife's happiness is your happiness, and you are the biggest beneficiary of high emotional well-being. God bless you.
Wow, thank you so much, Emma. This is very wonderful. This is very great, and especially I'm happy that you shared from your own personal experience. And the slides were full of your wife. What it shows what you mean exactly. And the talk was real. It was personal. It was not inspirational. It was just real and from your heart. And that is very important to us to resonate with you and how best you're doing your things. And even the testimonies themselves were very touching. Like personally, I was happy to know that even at more than 50 years, those things of not talking can be there and you still reach out to your spouse and do something. And also the last emotional move you made just because of your children. Also recently we went to attend a party just this last month, and then as we are there, they started. We went with our children, two of our children, and then there was a dance. They were dancing, and then the children came and said, they first told the mommy that, dad is calling you to come and dance. Mommy was just outside. Then mommy came rushing. Then they came, then one of them rushed to tell me that, mommy said that she wants to dance with you. And they said, you have never danced with mommy. We have taken some time, so tonight you must dance. And for us, we're going to be having our cameras. We must just record you. And so we're just in between there. Should we not? But of course, for the sake of children and for the sake of my wife, I said, why? Let me just do it. And I saw how my wife was very excited. And then we started talking, and then we found out that our children just wanted us to do that. And they took videos and they were very happy. So I think sometimes our children also know what maybe we need to do in our marriages. They watch, they see, and they know that these guys are just mechanical. They are pretending or things are not working out, and they want to help us maybe do certain things which can make us have life in our marriages. And I appreciate that. So thank you so much, Mr. Nyirangabo, for that very wonderful sharing and for being so valuable to us. I know that each one of us as a man, we've been able to pick a lot of lessons which we are going to put in place. And of course, I know time was not on our side because you wanted to make sure that you finish. Then we have enough time for Q&A. So I'm going to welcome questions. If you know that you have a question, please don't hesitate to just post it in the chat. This is the time because he left us to have more than 10 minutes for him to answer in case there's anything that you feel was not well covered. And we are grateful for that. And bravo to Grace again for being also bold to allow you have such a kind of life which you're sharing together for the last 20 years. We are very grateful to hear from your testimony. I have just one question from a man so far who's asking, how can husbands balance their own emotional needs while being attentive to their wives' needs? Of course, you have hinted on it, but I think he wants to know, how do I balance my personal needs and also my wife's emotional needs? That balance, I think, is still struggling. Maybe you can attempt that for now as I wait for more questions in the chat room.
Thank you so much, Dixon. How do you balance your own personal emotions and her emotional needs? That's a very interesting one. But I think it's very important that, first of all, you identify them and also identify the needs of your wife and talk about it. Talk about it. And maybe if your wife is consistently not responding to your needs and you don't feel like she's paying attention to them, talk about it. And say, I sometimes you ignore me. I signal, I stretch my hand, and you don't do anything, and you assume like you have not seen it. Talk about it. I think that would be that's what I think now. Mainly discuss, have a conversation over the issue in a very casual way, and maybe you'll find a solution. I don't know whether there is anyone who has any contribution to that. How do you balance the two so that you are not just bending, only responding to the emotions of your wife and she's ignoring yours? Like I said in the presentation, it is automatic. Actually, I think it's the last comment that when you meet the needs, also always remember that your wife's happiness, no, it's here. When you meet the needs of your wife, she automatically meets yours. So many things happen because automatically she will respond. If you're responding, if you're loving her, you're caring her, you're respecting her, if you're faithful to her, there are so many things that happen in the opposite side. That's what I can say for now.
Thank you so much. And I think you really hinted on it. So I'm also here with my wife, and we're looking at each other and smiling as you're presenting, and we are grateful for this. There's a question in the chat. Is the situation that both of you are emotionally troubled? Whose needs should be addressed first?
Now that you're with Prim, you attempt that one.
Actually, let me ask her to attempt that one since I'm the moderator.
Whom I think that I don't know really. I don't know how to respond to that because your wife might be strong and may be more courageous in responding to your needs, coming in first. And so it really depends on the couple. There are you may find that you have one member of the couple is maybe an introvert, another one is an extrovert. And this extrovert one talks and comes out so quickly and brings it out, and maybe is more confident and courageous to talk about it, while the other introvert one may be silent and dying slowly. So I can't say, I honestly can't say that the man comes first or the woman comes first. It depends on your personality. It depends on the way you relate. It depends also on your background. Some people, I mean, so there are so many factors that really come into play, but that you handle that situation depending on each other. For now, that's what I can say, because I can't say that it is either the man who comes first or the woman who comes first. It plays differently. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I could add that in the case where one party realizes the emotional disconnect, for the first person to recognize that there is something not going right, they should find courage to address it, not waiting for the other party, because sometimes someone can actually get emotionally lost, that they are emotionally troubled, but they have gotten to a point where they don't even recognize it. They are lost to emotion, they are lost to any kind of thinking. But when you recognize that there's that gap, I think that the person that recognizes that first ought to take that initiative and say, there's this gap, how do we fix it? Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Prim. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mchala Governor. There's another question that is is sex an emotional need or a physiological need?
Come again?
Is sex an emotional need or a physiological need?
I think it's an emotional, it's an emotional need. You can explain sex, if you want to explain it as a science, you can explain it as a science. But if you're talking about social emotional well-being, sex lies under that.
Okay. There's also another, someone will just give a comment as we're asking about how to handle emotion. Someone says, I think sometimes they forget that in the end, they are both the beneficiaries. In case someone is both of them are silent and one is coming forth. This was just a comment. And then now someone says, maybe if you have ever done a sort of you two might help to know who is stronger, where and weaker, and weaker, where and who to get help first, depending what the trouble is. But also, whoever identifies the first, then starts the process. This was just supplementing on who should come first in case when both of you are emotionally down. So I think we've come to the end of it. Our time is fast spent, and we want to say thank you so much, my brother.